About that jar, I think I've seen this before somewhere. Somewhere. Or maybe it's one of those memories people have from previous lives. This must be the most uninformative detective I've ever met. Something about that makes me feel uneasy. It's like I'm in the chief's office and he's yelling at me. Chief Gant? Where could I have seen that before? How about now? Nope. Click, 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 click. Tappity, 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 tap. We're going...
Very impressive, Detective. You know what it was right off the bat.
Well, I am a master of misplacement, you know.
Master, that has such a cool ring to it.
Yeah. We're just gonna leave that one alone too, okay? The way I see it, if things are meant to be lost, then they're meant to be lost. There's a higher power at work here.
Wow, a higher power.
Maybe I shouldn't let Emma hold any evidence. Hey, that powder is used for detecting fingerprints.
Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth gave it to us.
He did what? All I have is some flour. Are you okay, detective? Quick, run!
Achoo!
If it's any help, one time I took a nap on the bench with wet paint. Why am I not comforted? Yes, there's only one number left to investigate at 4:20 p.m. Blaze it. The victim, Detective Goodman, must have entered the evidence room along with someone else. Someone with an executive officer number. That's 17 too many, Detective. An executive officer. I just might have a hunch. Do you now, Phoenix? Fuck. Yeah, I just bought some of that stuff. Now I can go around detecting blood too.
Wow, is that a new type? I've never seen that bottle before. Add 3 inches to your base height.
Base height? Hey, let me see that. Looming tall. New and improved growth formula. You mean this can't detect any blood traces?
Oh, well, it's not quite the same thing as luminol.
So that's why the lady at the counter had that smirk on her face. God damn it. I like Gumshoe. About this. Hey, is that... It is... Yeah, we've already had this conversation. Wait, where were we? Fuck. We know that one. Ah. That's the photo that Mrs. Starr took. Anything you can tell us about it? That Ms. Starr is quite a lady. Why, I remember it was winter. I was 16. She was the only one who ever got me to talk about what happened.
16, that's how old I am now. I wonder what happened.
I wonder if Detective Gumshoe wore a trench coat in high school, too. Where is he? I know that is. No. No. We're getting close to the end. He probably did. This guy almost made us lose the case today. What are you talking about? He was guarding the bloodstain on the evidence locker with his life. That's more than you can say about most officers nowadays.
It would have saved us a lot of trouble if he hadn't guarded it so well.
I have to admit he's right, though. Thanks to the Blue Badger, we were able to prove another possibility today. The possibility that another murder took place prior to 5:15 p.m. Found in Mr. Edgeworth's car, stabbed with Mr. Edgeworth's knife, huh? What would drive Chief Prosecutor Sky to do such a thing? Wait, I didn't mean... sure, of course someone else really did it. Someone who must have a grudge against Mr. Edgeworth. Yeah, poo. It's the same line. Twice. Where I read this one. You can do just about anything these days with a card and a secret number. Scary. It's only scary because you keep dropping your card, Detective Gumshoe. I forget my secret number a lot too. I'm scared of myself. But I'm me after all, and what could be wrong with that? I think I'll stay out of this conversation. Detective, here's my attorney's badge. You show this to me every time we meet, pal. Real men show their police badge, enough said.
I wish I had a badge. Even an ID card would be nice.
She tried. She tried. I will give her that. I don't know what to show him. I'm out of things to show him other than my dick. And I don't think he'll be impressed by that. Just be like, hey, you want to see Edgeworth's favorite thing in the world? I was super out of ideas. I showed him everything, I'm pretty damn sure. Maybe Edgeworth is back. Yes, he is. I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet.
There he is. It looks like he's writing something. Probably a suicide note.
What are you doing here? He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh? I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me?
Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you.
That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So, what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. I wonder what he was writing before.
Come on, Mr. Wright. Let's take a look.
Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right here.
Just distract him. I'll check it out.
Hey, Edgeworth. Is that Detective Gumshoe out the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground. Hold on. First, let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet. He didn't even look.
What? Letter of...
If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says, a letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside of me has died.
But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault.
I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh. I think he's serious.
Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something.
This letter of resignation. I wonder if I can use it for anything. Letter of resignation. Put in the pocket. There we go. We got what we needed, boys. Oh my god. No. Please, no.
Excuse me? Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef?
Ms. Starr. I guess she's out of lunches.
You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk.
What?
Still, I never thought that you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago.
Everyone in this trial was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from that case was due for transferal. This can't be all be attributed to mere coincidence.
Aren't you forgetting something? You know, that little scene I happened to witness.
The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife.
No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten.
Ms. Starr's hatred towards Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. I don't give a shit. I really just don't. God damn it! We tried, boys.
Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though, must have been going through hell.
You mean because of his brother's death?
They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became possessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate.
Her?
Lana Skye. My sister? The best of the best were put on that SL9 case. Of course they were led by that legendary duo. Lana and Chief Kant. That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out.
You mean with the forging of the evidence?
Don't get me wrong. Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items that he never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret. But you don't have proof anything illegal was done. I am proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties. Most without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter.
She was being used?
Damon Kant and Lana Skye. Kant led the investigation with Lana's second in command. They were the best. They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Kant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal.
His magnetism?
By that I mean his ability to detract evidence. He had produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled.
Incredible evidence, you mean?
Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him, though.
I take it she's talking about forged evidence.
Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall.
Hey, Gregor. Welcome to the stream, and thank you for the resub.
When Jake's brother was murdered, he felt as if she had lost her own brother. It wasn't for her. I don't think Jake would ever have recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. Miss Starr! That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that?
Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she?
Yes, thanks to Chief Kant's powerful influence. Chief? That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured.
Your life turned interesting these last couple of weeks? As long as interesting and legal are synonyms, you need to tell me all about it right now. If they're not synonyms, DM me later.
There was only one thing left for him to control.
I got super depressed and found Jesus. I'm still fucking degenerate, but now I feel bad about it. Thank you for the resub as well, Rogue. Well, you've come to the right place. Because here, we're all degenerates. And we can make you feel better about yourself because at least you're not as bad as the rest of us. That snowflake is a really old bit donation badge from like 2 years ago, where they were doing a thing where if you donated bits, a percentage of the bits you donated would be matched by, like, if you used bits to donate to streamers, a percentage of every bit donated was being matched by Twitch and donated to like a charity. And I don't remember what charity it was. And everyone who donated over, like, I don't even remember what the amount was, but once you hit like a certain threshold of donated bits, they gave you a special icon that you could use permanently.
And then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office.
What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred? Yeah, it was back in 2018. I just don't remember when in 2018.
If he could control the chief prosecutor, he would control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lana? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, he's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for a change.
At last, I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. You played Ultimate for PT this morning? What is Ultimate? Thank you, Miss Starr.
You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine.
Oh, Ultimate Frisbee? I don't know how to play Ultimate Frisbee. I don't know how to play Frisbee anything. Actually, I know how to play Frisbee golf. That is the thing I know how to do. There's actually a course in my town. 2 of them, I believe.
I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been.
Where in the friggity frick is what's his face? Don't worry, everyone calls it Ultimate. Tundra is just uncultured. This is true. The only culture I have is thigh worship. Wait, can I not move back to Gant's office? I can't. Fuck. Okay. Move to... Sure, this.
Don't have anything else to tell you. Miss Starr! The only thing I could give you now is a poppy seed rice set.
Talk about cheap.
Eat this, maybe you'll be able to tell Black from Wright in court tomorrow.
Dresser didn't even push when I caught the frisbee and made a goal. He was nearby and I think he didn't expect me to catch it, so he didn't block me. He said I didn't have permission to catch it. We still got the point though. Back to the prosecutor's office. Let's talk to Edgeworth some more. Oh, I guess we have more. We do actually have more to talk to Edgeworth about.
There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I do can erase that fact.
But you didn't know, did you? I mean that the evidence was falsified.
The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error, my responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have. Mr. Edgeworth. I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why has it all come to this?
Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Are you up for the trial tomorrow?
First, last year's trial, and now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow's the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this.
What do you mean?
The list of evidence seems too short. Most lists run twice as long.
It's only half as long as most lists? That is odd.
After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time. See, we just saw a picture taken around that time.
That picture, something seems strange about it. Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered. You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right?
I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you awarded this? Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department.
You finished up at the office?
Yes. Just odds and ends, clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is until I was asked to take something back. Take something back? This. Oh yeah, Chief Kant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office.
That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to.
That's right.
This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office.
Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. Yes? The trophy Miss Marshall is holding. It's a little different than yours. Yes, you're right. I remember now. Remember what?
Wait, what? Remember what?
That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design. A story?
Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us?
It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with two characters. The first means halberd and the second means shield. Have you heard this story?
Me? Oh, sure. Everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though? For Emma's sake.
Very well. Mr. Wright, you know damn well I already know this story. Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day he presented the king with two items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon.
Wait a minute. Those claims contradict each other.
Very perceptive, but then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very description of these items discredits them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless, and thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Oh, I see. So the chipped sword, shield, and broken knife symbolize... Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words, but it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this. Wow, thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today.
That's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield?
You'll have to ask Chief Kant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished.
Chief Kant. Huh.